Okay, back to where I was at. I can't even begin to tell World War II without starting like so much farther back, like because it all matters in World War II. Uh, you know, it go. I'll just start from what 1290 to 1611, the Edict of Expulsion. England did not want Jews in their country. If you were caught harboring a Jew or practicing Judaism, you were persecuted. Just about every country in Europe, they had the same thing. And that says a lot. I mean, you're telling me, you know, like this hatred of Jews that everybody puts on the Nazis in World War II. I mean, this is a hatred that's gone back way farther than, you know, like we know about it 2,000 years ago too. Come on, the Bible, whatever. But where's that? 1290 to 1656, the Edict of Expulsion was in place. Okay, Oliver Cromwell had it listed in 1956, and I believe he was part Jewish himself, but he sat in Parliament or something like that in the English government. He had an active playing role in it all, and well, what that too is like, when was the King James Bible written? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying King James was English, because I believe he was the King of Scotland before he became the king of like the United Kingdom or England. But I don't know. I have to look into it a little more. What I am saying is the King James Bible was written in 1611 during the time of the Edict of Expulsion. I'm telling you, the Edict of Expulsion was from 1290 to 1656. So, and they said that the Edict of Expulsion was put in place because the English people, or this is one story that I read, that the English people were tired of the monarchies borrowing money from the Jews, and they were fed up with it and everything. That's one story I read, though. I don't even know if it was a true story, okay? But this is what I was reading at the time. And anyway, so all the countries. I mean, when I read too now that Israel wasn't a country until 1940 something, and they weren't allowed in France, and they weren't allowed in England, and they weren't allowed. There was a lot of edicts in a lot of countries, and there was no place for these people. Everybody hated them. That's the truth. You know, like, okay, so World War I, this and that. I don't know how Germany, you know, a whole lot of history on Germany and all this and that, but God, what did they call them again? Before Germany became the German Democratic Republic, they were a monarchy of sorts themselves. And in World War I, they were still that monarchy, but I can't remember the name of their king. But that guy during World War I was a direct descendant of Queen Victoria. You know what I'm saying? So the English royal bloodline descended in Germany. Anyways, Germany became the German Democratic Republic, and Hitler was elected in a democratic election. And you know, whether he turned out to be a tyrant or this or that, the facts are the facts. He was elected in a democratic election. He used to speak at things for the people, this and that. He got into a gunfight with the German police and went to prison, and was still elected the leader of the German Democratic Republic. But where, if you don't allow Jews in England, you don't allow Jews in France, and you don't allow Jews in Spain, and you don't allow Jews here, and you don't allow Jews here, and you don't allow Jews here, everybody hates the Jews. Where do you think all the Jews are at? You know, like probably Poland, maybe, but I don't know. I haven't really researched Poland all that much. All I'm talking about is a democratic republic. And so even before World War II started, England had stepped in and was helping Hitler deport Jews to Palestine. No joke. And it didn't go over too well. The Palestinians didn't like the New World Jews. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. Al-Husseini had his own sect of the SS and ordered the extermination of the Jews. He was a Palestinian leader. So that's crazy to me. And if you look at like probably the most dangerous place on the planet today is the Gaza Strip. And that's pretty much a Palestinian and Israel thing. But this is where all of the problems that we have in the world today with terrorists and the terrorist organizations and all this is where they were born. Like people don't even understand the war never ended for these people. Like you threw up a fucking peace flag and said the war was over, and so it was over. It didn't end, not for them. You know what I'm saying? They're still fighting for the same thing they were fighting for then, long before then, and still today. But yeah, so Palestine didn't want the New World Jews. You know, they didn't like them, period. That's crazy too, because if you look at Hitler's allies, you know, everybody wants to say Hitler was a white supremacist, this and everything else. I'll give you that. Hitler was infatuated with finding the lost city of Atlantis. And the myth says that the lost city of Atlantis was built by Aryans. And Aryans are described as these mythical beings, and they were just bigger and better, and they were like Atlantis was supposed to be this outrageous city like you've never seen before. Like these people were supposed to be superior, you know what I mean? And well, you never found the lost city of Atlantis, but I could probably catch word of that and create some propaganda out of it. Whatever. What I'm saying, his allies was Palestine, Spain. Well, Spain claims not to be, but they were more leaning that way than any other way. So Palestine, Spain, Japan, Italy. None of his allies were white. That's what I'm saying. And if you take America in the 1940s, and I've already discussed the 1957 Civil Rights Act, where Republicans wanted equal voting rights for black people, and it being passed in 1964 when LBJ put it on the table. But no, what I'm speaking of though is in the 1940s in America, black people didn't have the right to vote, let alone run for president. Okay, how insane is that to me? In 1940, you know, I'm going to forget everything after 1940 right now and just pretend like fuck that I'm a person alive in 1940 and nothing past that point. I have a country here that doesn't allow black people to have even equal voting rights as everybody else, let alone be elected as a president. Pointing a finger at me, calling me a racist, it makes no sense to me. Well, then if you take, you know, any of the monarchies, who was our allies? England, France, Russia, you know, they're all monarchies. Probably the English royal bloodline was probably white from the beginning to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, For real. So that's a form of white supremacy, you know, having an English bloodline, a superior bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And France, 1940, and Russia, 1940. It seems to me that these are all at least could be looked at way harder as white supremacists than the guy whose friends are Japanese, Palestinian, Spanish, Italian. You know, like, because Italians ain't blonde hair, blue eyed either, and all that. And not only that, but when the war ended and the Nazis were being hunted for prosecution for war crimes and everything, where'd they seek refuge to? You know, South America. Now, when I'm thinking of South America, especially the 1940s, you know, whatever, I'm thinking of people that aren't white. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe South America was just white. And but anyway, so there's a lot of propaganda there. Given what I just read to you about Hitler and the usage of the N-word, the Allies, you know, it's crazy. But okay, we were covering Jews.